Guys, welcome to my weekly Facebook Live. I'm Jen Burson, founder and president of Generation PR and the creator of the Powerhouse Pros community, the Pitching Powerhouse podcast. If you're here, you're no doubt already a powerhouse, but we're going to talk about some ways that you can become even more confident in your leadership skills as a digital agency owner, so we can turn you into even more of a powerhouse. So welcome. I'm super excited about this topic. I love that we can talk about the ways that business and the woo-woo stuff, not super woo, like howling at the moon or saging. I mean, I'm by all means do all the things, but these are like the soft skills, right? Like being able to hone in on what instincts you have, what your natural talents and abilities are, the ways that you can look at your position as a leader in your agency and realize where that comes from, the confidence, and where you might be able to increase and having strategies for doing that. So I'm going to jump right in because I have a lot for today and I'm really excited about this topic. A lot of this is coming from a certification that I have in high performance coaching. So I am a certified high performance coach. We have adapted my training and the research-backed approach that I learned through my certification and put it together in a way that serves agency owners. So it's like if you're looking for that crossover of a business mentor, but someone who gets the agency model, the business you're trying to build, creating a business to support the kind of life you want to have, and having research tested, proven strategies to kind of layer on top of your kind of business processes. That's what we have to offer. And it's a new approach. So anyone that's kind of gone through our programs, that's in Agency Accelerator, this is that next thing that our members that have been here the longest have been asking us for, that next layer of mastery. And so we're going to skim the surface today, which I love. Let me know who's here live. And if you're watching the replay and tag me so I know that you have watched it. But we are going to dive right in because I have 6 ways that you can hone in and amplify your confidence. So welcome. We know, and you guys didn't tell me who's here. Hi, guys. Let's have a conversation. It's helpful for me. So confidence is key when you're running a business, and it has had such an impact on, we just even had a call yesterday, Agency Accelerator Plus, talking about your rate, increasing your rate, asking for more. And a lot of the discussion was around like visualizing, manifesting. But really what that is kind of telling your brain consistently that you're worth the rate you're asking for, that you provide that level of value. And so then when you have these conversations with clients, you're coming from a position of confidence that you are worth what you're asking for because the outcomes support that value that the client is seeking. And when you say it to yourself enough, you get very confident and comfortable and you're able to just kind of spit out that number. But when you doubt it, that's when that hesitation comes through and you're not as convincing. And a lot of our community have that thought that if the rate is high, like it sounds high to me. And when I was in that position, I would not have been able to afford that. And you're taking that and it's interfering with your confidence in the simple equation of what is the value I provide and what is the rate to get that value from me. And so confidence plays a huge, huge part in all aspects of running a business, but specifically when you're asking for your fee. So this is a really important discussion because just what we're going to talk about today is going to make you more money. Watch. Hi, Nicola. How are you? Nice to see you. Who else is here, you guys? I know I have my regulars. You've got an entire team of people and your clients that are looking to you for guidance. You're the leader of your business, and you can't approach things from an unsure place or very wary as you lead your team and your clients. They want to see that you know your stuff, you're the expert they hired, and you are confidently leading them into the outcomes they're seeking. When you run your agency with confidence, you can build this business you truly love that will align with your values. This is where having that confidence will lead to selectivity and intentionality. So you're able to make those decisions. Running from a place of fear is, what if another client doesn't come? Or what if they can't afford my rate and they don't counter offer a different rate? What if I can't pull off the work that they're asking for? When you have that confidence, you can create this business that's aligned with your values and make intentional decisions on who you work with and who you don't. So we're going to dive into my 6 best tips for developing confidence in your agency leadership skills and becoming a stronger, more self-assured agency owner. How does that sound? Awesome. Doing very well and looking forward to the session. Good. It's a good one. So the first thing is, stop downplaying your expertise. Why is it always women that do this? Why? When you niche down your agency on who you serve, what niches you work in, the kinds of clients you support, and the work you do, how you serve them, you can develop this deep expertise in your chosen industry. And the more projects that you execute and the more clients you work with, the more your expertise will grow. And this is a big part of what we teach in Agency Accelerator, because niching down is incredibly important for so many reasons. But for intentionally building a business that will serve and support the kind of life you want to have, for getting the rates that you're looking for, all of it is amplified when you niche down. Your dream clients want to work with the true experts in their industry, and the clients that have those big budgets, they're not going to seek out a generalist. They want you when you niche down. So as you establish yourself as an authority in your space, clients are going to come looking for you. You're going to get referred. People are going to think of you. And the great thing here is they pay a premium for your services. If you needed a heart surgery, would you go to a general practitioner, or would you go to a cardiovascular surgeon or a cardiologist or heart surgeon? You would go and seek out the expert, the one that truly has a deep understanding of the very thing that you need a positive outcome for. And you'll pay a premium for that expert. And it's no different when it comes to clients looking for services that you provide. So you want to show your clients why they came to you in the first place. When they give you a game plan that you look at it and you're like, this is wrong for what they want. You don't have to just go with what they're asking for. You can push back because you're the expert. So step into your authority as the digital agency owner you are, with all of your experiences, even if that experience comes from a role you had at a company, something you did in college. All of your experience comes into play. And a lot of new agency owners will say, well, I'm just starting out. When I started my agency, I was truly just starting out. No experience, no contacts, nothing. Maybe you worked for someone else before, or maybe you worked in a different capacity and you have all of that experience and that expertise. All of that comes into play in establishing your know-how. So when clients come to you and they're like, oh, I think I need press releases every week, and I need to hit 16-year-old TikTok influencers with my retinol eye cream, you're like, not so great. So you don't have to just agree because the client is asking for it. Step into your authority and give them the guidance that they need on the phone, in the conversation. This is all about resetting expectations. And you also are going to double down and include that in your proposal. Not a strategy. Nelson, if you are here, we're not giving away strategy. We are showing them that we know what their goals and objectives are, and we have an approach that will get them there that isn't exactly the thing they're asking for that someone told them at a cocktail party that they need from you. You're going to come in and say that's actually not going to be effective in any way for the outcomes you're seeking. So don't shy away from offering your expertise in an effort to land a prospective client. We're not giving away the secret sauce, but we're providing them with some know-how. Hi, Jen, it's Nelson. I agree. Never let the client push you around. They are hiring you for your expertise, and they absolutely have to respect and follow your advice, right? It's women. I mean, Nelson has a lot of experience, worked with big clients. It's easy for whatever reason. It's easy for men. Nelson, I'm not saying that it's easy for you, but you've earned the right to have that niche down authoritative stance when it comes to serving clients. For some reason, a lot of women, we don't have that same position of power, which is what we're, getting to here. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that you have the experience, the industry know-how, the contacts to really get a sense of like how this is going to play out, and what they're asking for is just flat out wrong. So you want to get on those calls and start serving in a way that showcases your expertise and confidently shows that you are the right person for the job. And they're going to see that you know your stuff, you're invested in their success, and stepping into that role early, and I suggest discovery calls absolutely, is going to show that you're giving guidance, that you're a leader to them, and it's going to establish trust, and it's not going to scare them off. They're not going to say, oh my God, they knew too much, or like they, had ideas that were different than ours. Yeah. Yep. You gotta, your clients know that they're hiring you for what you can provide to them uniquely based on your know-how. The other thing is that we are constantly in this inbound reactive mindset. And so my second bit of advice here to grow your confidence as an agency owner is to ditch that reactive mindset and aim to get into a flow state. When you're in that reactive mindset, you will just take whatever comes your way. You're going to partner with every prospective client that reaches out. You are going to constantly be putting out fires. You are not going to be able to put in the work to grow your agency, to be intentional and strategic about the direction you want your company to go in, the kinds of clients you want to attract. You are going to just take whatever comes your way. And now your agency is building expertise and contacts and results in niches that you don't really want to work in long term, but you're going down a path that you allowed yourself to move in because you're reactive. And the reality is that not everyone gets to work with you. You might be a service provider and someone calls or emails and says, you provide this service, I would like your service. They don't just get to work with you. You don't have to agree to work with everyone. You are still in charge. This is where those red flags come in, and you get to choose to not ignore them. You don't have to say yes to some of those problematic clients that present themselves as problematic right out of the gate. You're like, are they kidding? Like, I have a proposal I just sent out. They were like all over me. Send it. Got the proposal out, ghosted, radio silence, followed up 3 times, No response. Of course, I'm tracking the email. I saw they opened it. And I'm not going to push, because if they're like this during the courting phase, what are they going to be like? And this is the second conversation I've had with them. So there's something where they can't pull the trigger. They don't have the funds. They don't have the team in place. They don't see the value. Like, there's something here. If they came back to me and they were like, okay, we're ready, I would have to ask some hard questions and really determine, am I willing to look the other way on these red flags? Or is this a situation that I'm going to look back on in 6 months and say, I ignored the signs. I knew that they were going to be problematic. So don't just say yes because it's guaranteed revenue. You are not obligated to take care of every client, every family and friend referral. I always use the example of your cousin's sister's coworker, your cousin's friend's sister coworker, selling candles and soap on Etsy. Like, you don't have to take on all of those clients just as a favor. Like, I have a request sitting in my inbox, in my Facebook DMs. Somebody wants to refer me, and it's something completely outside of our expertise. So the response is, no, we're not the right fit. I'm not going to get on the phone and spend an hour chatting up somebody and giving them, some reality checks on the way that PR works, if I know that at the end of the call, it's not, either one of us a good fit for either one of us. So just say no if you know that it's not right for you, because if you take on every lead that you get, you're going to build a reactive business, and one that is completely unfulfilling. It's a recipe for burnout. It is the path towards a business that you worked really hard to build that can never scale and will never serve you the way that your company can. You'll be fully in the driver's seat with every aspect of your agency when you are more proactive, more purposeful with your business. And you're going to get into that flow state when you're making decisions from an intentional place. You can be transparent with the prospective client and offer guidance. This is if you do actually get on the phone, like there's something about it that was somewhat enticing to you, and you do get on the phone, you can have a great conversation, and maybe they'll say, well, we weren't the right fit, but I would absolutely refer them to a brand or an expert that they specialize in because they really seemed confident. Fine. You can be transparent with their clients, offer guidance, and not worry about their thoughts, not think that you look bad or they're going to be mad at you or not like you if you say no. You can be intentional about your niche, the services you offer, the kinds of clients you work with, the specific clients you work with, not just general kinds, but one of those aspects is budget. Not everybody gets to work with you. You don't have to lower your rate because someone can't afford it. Do you provide the value that will equate to the rate that you're asking for? And if the answer is yes, if they can't afford it, they don't get to work with you. You can't walk into, Louis Vuitton on Rodeo Drive and say, I really love this purse. I'm the kind of person that really likes purses, and I really want your purse because I know it's the best quality, but I can't afford what you're asking for. So can you give it to me for half off and maybe just don't include the strap? That's not how it works, right? Be Louis Vuitton, guys. Be Gucci. Ask for what you are offering in terms of value. And if they can't afford it, they don't get to work with you. So the other thing is, when you make these intentional decisions, and when you're intentional in building your business and really honing in on what you love, what lifts you up and makes your day get into that flow state that you feel really energized by the work you're doing, that's when you focus on your zone of genius. And it's a big deal to identify these areas where you can work in an effortless state. You love the work you're doing. Those days you're doing this type of work, time just, flies by. And you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it's been 4 hours. I've been focusing on this thing. So that is a really big part of being a leader of your business and knowing which tasks are not the right thing for you to be doing and which you might be the bottleneck for, what tasks you need to outsource in the long run, and what things you're like, I want to do this, not because I don't want to let go of control, but because I love it, because I'm the best person to do this, because I'm super fired up on this thing that I'm doing for this client. And this is a huge part of what we dive into, and so much more in my Elevate group coaching program. We're currently waitlisting people. We've had a few people click through, and I believe there's an application. And if it's not out yet, it will be very, very soon. But there's the wait list. So if you like this topic, if you're like, I'm into this, you will love Elevate. It's truly like transformational. And again, like backed in science and research, and the only program of its kind that layers on high performance, proven frameworks with the agency and work-life integration that is such a core, like literally it is the core value of our company, is sharing all of the tools, strategies, frameworks, expertise, know-how, so that our community can achieve the work-life integration that they're seeking. Parenthood, travel, whatever your things are. And so our Elevate program is the only one of its kind that will layer on high performance coaching, proven frameworks backed by research, with our approach to building agencies that serve our lives. Like, I love it so much. So that was to number 3. You have to know your value. We've touched on this a little bit, but part of being confident as an agency owner is knowing your worth and fully secure in the value you're providing to your clients. And one thing we talked about on AA Plus yesterday was that so many clients don't understand the true value of PR. They don't get it. They don't understand the difference between advertising, marketing, PR, social media, that one of our KPIs is not sales. That's something that we have to redirect clients on during the discovery call stage. And we can help clients see our potential impact on their business by showing off our expertise, providing a capabilities deck. Right, Nelson? We love a CAPE deck. Sharing case studies and client testimonials, because those are going to show the client in actual results and your former client's own words, or your current client's own words, what the experience is like working with you. And this is the opportunity to also let them know what PR isn't. I'm dealing with this right now with a former client who, thought that PR in a very, very short, condensed timeline would be solely responsible for their entire Q4 holiday sales. So, not going to get too into that, but I very clearly, set expectations at the outset that we're not tracking sales. That is not what we do. But you have to redirect clients to understand so that your outcomes are aligned with their expectations. And the other aspect of knowing your value is that it is reflected in your retainer pricing. So don't undersell yourself, offer a lower retainer, cut out a meaningless service. Sometimes I'll do that if I'm desperate, not desperate, if I really, really want a client, not like desperate, but like, oh my God, they'd be so good for us. Sorry, I got a text, so I got a little distracted, but you're not going to cut your rate just to land a client, because, you know the value you provide, and not everybody gets to work with you. You're not getting a Louis Vuitton for half off because they don't include the strap. So feeling secure in your value is going to empower you as a leader, and you're going to exude more confidence in your skills, your niche expertise. I know a lot of members of our community really struggle with that confidence piece because the outcomes are out of our control when it comes to pitching the media. And that's true that it is out of our control, but you still possess the contacts when you niche down. You know the players that are important in your industry. You also have the real like ins and outs nailed down in your niche, and you can give a pretty good summary of what the client can expect. And you're not going to oversell it, but you're going to make them aware of what you know by having those conversations where you're really establishing your expertise. And not having the ability to control the outcomes is across the board with any PR firm. Unless it's one of those shady, like pay to play, and they're not real, and they're not search indexed features and they disappear after, that's not what we're talking about here. Every PR pro in our community is in the same position of not being in control of the outcomes. So don't let that be the thing that shoots down your confidence. Speak truthfully about what you know, what they can reasonably expect, and having this kind of intentional place and being more selective when you're taking on new clients is going to sort of automatically make those hard decisions a lot easier for you, because you have clarity and it's like, this doesn't align. This isn't what I told myself I wanted. And so it's a clear no. Number 4 is be decisive. Let yourself say no. So this flows from the last one, but everything you do in your business, stepping stones. That's why on our website we have the path, the success path, and it shows like a Candyland map. You go up and it builds on itself, but it's stepping stones all in the right direction. So that will lead you to bigger and better opportunities in the right space when you make the decisions to not go down those paths that feel wrong. You don't want to keep attracting work that is not enjoyable to you. Yeah. Hi, Serena, Nicola, love it. Rather say this now than waste my time later. She told somebody specifically on a discovery call, love the disco ball. I just found that emoji a couple days ago and I was like, have I not ever used the disco ball? So cute. This is not sales. And whomever posted that, I can't see who it is, absolutely on those discovery calls. Because if you sign a client and you're never able to really get them to understand what PR outcomes are and aren't, not sales, like Nicola said, they're not going to be happy. And you're going to get great results and they'll never feel satisfied because the expectations are out of alignment with what the outcomes could be and will be. So having those conversations during the discovery call, I find that it should, with the right clients, put you in a position of trust, where they trust you because you're open and honest. You're not just saying what they want to hear to win the work, get the contract signed, and then just go, like it's not what you expect. So, that's the time to do it. You want to go down these paths that excite you. And that is how you work with clients that will light you up, that will help you gain expertise and form strong relationships in your niche, relationships that'll move the needle for other clients. So you have to take a stand for yourself and your business and say no to what comes along that doesn't serve you, and be really confident and strong in that decision. And if a client lead comes your way in an industry that doesn't interest you long term, or maybe they're in your niche, but there's something off, like you're looking and you're like, this is going to be a slog. Like, this is not going to be exciting. My team is going to be really stretched because this is not newsworthy. And I'm sorry to tell you, not every brand, not every product, not every client, not every expert. We can come up with lots of creative ideas. Maybe that gets shared in an owned channel, like a blog post or social media. Maybe the media won't pick up that idea. But it doesn't mean it's a bad idea. It might mean it's not newsworthy. And not every client is. And so if you're having to like really dig for those opportunities, and you're like, I don't really see that this is cool. You want to work with stuff that you think is really cool and really interesting, because that passion will shine through. And, if you go down these paths that are work opportunities you don't love, you are going to despise your business long term. You're going to say, why did I don't love it? And you're not really going to maybe even know where you possibly took a wrong turn. I was telling my son in the car today, sort of, like expanding on James Clear Atomic Habits, that, I was explaining kind of like small decisions. He said, well, I said, let's go to In-N-Out Burger this weekend. And he said, well, I'm trying to get a 6-pack. It's like middle school. I think he thinks the girls are going to love him if he has a 6-pack. So he's like, well, In-N-Out isn't like 6-pack, behavior. And I was like, I love that, because we talk about like, are you taking actions from the identity of the kind of person that you want to be? Don't tell yourself, I want to be the kind of guy that has a 6-pack. You can say, I am the kind of person that is strong, and I show up every day to work on my strength, and I am a healthy person, and make decisions from that headspace. But I told him that these little decisions along the way, one In-N-Out Burger one time, every now and then is fine. But if you're going 2-3 times a week, yeah, when you get on the scale from like day to day, you might not see a difference, but they compound over time. And from the time you had your first, double animal style to 5 years from now, when, you've been doing that for, 100 times a year for 5 years, you're going to notice a difference. But if you make most of the time you're operating from that identity that you want, every now and then, you can make a decision that's not aligned. And it, if that brings you joy, just don't make it the regular. And so that could happen here with taking on clients. Oh, it's just one client. Like, now you've made relationships and learned, the ins and outs of an industry that you can't leverage that again. And if you kind of do that 1 time, 2 times, 3 times a year, you're building a client base and outcomes, results, testimonials, case studies, contacts, know-how that will make your business all over the place. And you're going to say, I don't love what I'm doing. I feel like it's just too much. I'm stretched too thin. Be intentional and make those decisions one at a time, knowing that it's all building towards running an agency you love, because you deserve that. I deserve that. I have that. That's why I share what I know. My way is not the only way, but it's the way that has worked for me. And I'm 18 and a half years into my business, and I still love it. Like, I still totally love it. And when you truly love your business, you are going to feel confident and satisfied every time you sit down at your desk. You're not going to dread it. You're not going to dread looking at emails from clients. You're going to feel really confident in your position as the leader of the business that you strategically built. Number 5, follow your intuition. Oh my God, intuition. We all have it. We all have it. Some of us pay more attention to it than others. Some of us will dismiss it or just ignore it altogether. Dismissing it, ignoring it, I see it as different. Ignoring it is like, you see that it's there. You intentionally choose to say, I'm going to give it a try anyway. But when you're running your agency, especially in the early stages, tuition, I have a kid in private school. Tuition is insane, but intuition is going to point you in the right direction. It is there, whether you're paying attention or not, but it's going to speak up when you are headed down that wrong path. So choose to pay attention to it. If you pay attention to how you feel as you talk to these prospective clients, as you work on projects, as you're collaborating with your team, you will gain immense clarity on what is truly right for you. Your gut instinct isn't wrong. So if something feels off, try to think why. What is this feeling about? You can change course immediately or start to really see when you have that feeling. Is it around a person? Is it around a person in a particular role? Sometimes you have great people on your team, but it's like the right people are on the bus. They're just not in the right seats. You could have somebody with a really, short, like brief style in a customer service role. And that's not the right fit. But that person can be an excellent like social media content creator, right? Or write the customer service responses. We used to create matrices for our clients when we had like social media and we're managing communities. When we would get the same questions over and over, we would create responses. Maybe that person is great at creating those responses, but they can't have a customer or a client facing conversation because their style feels a little bit rough, but they could be in another role. So it doesn't mean you have to fire that person. Trust your intuition. Maybe they're just not in the right role in your company. When you are pitching a client and you're like, they don't understand, they don't have the infrastructure, they don't have the budget, like they don't have anything new, their website is janky, like, okay, you can pay my rate, money please, like that's gonna suck. Your team's gonna be like, this is a dog, why are we working on this? So intuition is a huge key part of being a confident agency owner. Trust yourself. When you trust yourself, you will feel 100% sure in everything you do, in every move that you make. You're going to be really aligned with how you feel about something and what that means for that decision you have to make or as you're moving towards your vision for your company. So that is a major part of establishing a clear vision for your agency. And we dive really deep into that also in my Elevate group coaching program. I posted the wait list. I'll post it again. I don't know if it'll work, but yeah. If you want to just be informed when we open it up again, we're going to kick off in January, but we have a masterclass we're going to teach that's free, and we have an application and an interview process. Who was it here that said, you are preaching to me right now? LOL, thank you. I don't know who that is because it doesn't say the name. Maybe it's Chrissy. I don't know. It's hard to know like who, because if you're not on the right page on my end, I can't see you. Okay, the last one, and this is a doozy. Okay, hi. Okay, shut down your imposter syndrome. We could talk for hours about this, but you're an expert. You're a true leader. You're the leader of your business. Stop listening to the voice in your head that's telling you otherwise. Imposter syndrome is where you think you're a fraud and people are going to figure you out and your whole world is going to crumble, or like that thing you're working towards is not going to happen because you're going to be found out. And that any success you've had is luck along the way, and you're stepping into this role that you've never done before. And so you're a fraud, and how could you possibly do a good job at this because you've just never been in this position before? You have to stop listening to that voice in your head that is telling you that you aren't an expert or you aren't a leader. This is necessary for you. If you do one thing, be aware of when imposter syndrome creeps in. You have that feeling like you're a fraud, where clients will realize that, you have no business running your own business. You have to let go of that. As you grow more secure in your worth and you get into that flow state, you step into your role as an expert in your niche, it does get easier to quiet your imposter syndrome anxieties. But it's that feeling of growth that naturally comes with resistance. It is your mind trying to protect you from something new. And when this is a reframe for you, okay? When you feel imposter syndrome creep in and rear its ugly head, you have to reframe those thoughts into the positive, confident mindset. So the reframe is not, or the thought is not, who am I to be doing this? They're going to find out that I'm new, that I can't deliver on the results that I'm telling them that I can. I've never really had a client at this rate before. What does that even mean for me? I've never asked for this rate before. They're going to know. Reframe it into reminding yourself you're feeling this way because you're stepping into a bigger role. You're becoming a better agency owner in the process. You're growing. And as you grow, you're experiencing new things that you haven't done before. So the reframe is not they're going to find out I'm a fake and a fraud. It is that I am stepping into a bigger role. I'm playing on a bigger stage. And I am excited about the growth I'm having and the possibilities for myself and how I get to show up as a leader for my agency, my team, and my clients. So feeling good about your growth will increase your confidence and shut down that imposter syndrome. Instead of feeling like, I've never done this, say, I've never done this. Like, this is new for me. And that means that I'm growing personally and professionally. And give yourself a hug instead of downward anxiety spiral, because some people go their entire lives stuck in the same old and never allow themselves to feel the discomfort of growth. So if you feel that way, it's because you are growing professionally and personally, and I love that for you. So if you need that final push to step into your role as a confident visionary agency owner, I have this free agency action plan that has my key framework, the path to profitability, the 4 pillars, and each of the different things within that pillar, within each pillar that you will need to focus on to grow and scale a profitable agency on your terms. I've also posted the link here for the Elevate group coaching waitlist, which we will be opening the program for the first cohort in January 2024. I'll stay on for a minute or so. I love this topic so much, you guys. I say this all the time. Again, like, we choose topics that our community asks about. This came up on our call, just like increasing a rate really quickly because your business has grown really quickly. Fantastic problem to have. But as you scale, this happened with one of our AA Plus members. She wasn't getting enough revenue on her original clients to pay for the team and sort of cover the expenses it took to execute on those services. So, the underlying thought there was, that rate sounds really high to me when I was just starting out as an online authority. And it's like, are you providing that level of value? You're putting your money limiting beliefs on your clients, and you are losing money in your business because you are not covering your team, who gets great results that are in far excess monthly of the value that you are, or the rate you're getting paid for the value you're providing. And we had to talk about it, because that one limiting belief will keep you running running small, and you're not going to win every single client if your rate is out of reach, but why should you have to bend down to where they can afford when what you're providing is immense value? It depends. So the question here is, what should the base rate be for retainer PR services in today's market? That's a challenging question. what is your industry? How much, what are you, responsible for? Um, you know, I wouldn't, when people come in my agency accelerator program, it's shocking to me how many people are charging less than $2,500 a month. To me, that is like a freelancer rate. A lot of freelancers that are stepping into agency roles still have that freelancer mindset, so they charge a low amount. We try to say everyone at a minimum 2,500, but it also depends. Like certain niches are a lot more expensive. When you charge more, you attract better clients. Like tech niches are, very technical. Medical industries, pretty technical. Nonprofits, people think that they have no money because they are a nonprofit, but they do. So it really depends on what industry. Do you have the case studies to back it up? Do you have the results that can show that level of value is there? And if not, are you just getting started? That's fine. You don't have to like come in at some super low ball rate, but 2,500 is like minimum, I would think. 3,500 feels more like agency rate to me. 2,500 still feels like a small freelancer, but we have people that have grown from 2,500 to 7,500 pretty much like overnight in realizing, and that's maybe not even as high as what they should be charging, in realizing that the results, the outcomes that they're securing really do justify it. And the other factor is, how much does it cost you to provide these services? If you're charging a low rate, you have no profitability built into scale. Part of grab that agency action framework that I posted, the action plan, because that framework is built on a very solid foundation of the steps you take to build consistent, predictable retainer revenue that's recurring, that you can count on. And it's really about having the results to show the value, charging what value, not like hourly, not like, oh my God, that sounds high, I got to come down a little bit, but here's the value that I provide. It is worth this much. And it's one of the benefits of being in our programs is that we talk about all this stuff, so you can see like where you are. You don't have to kind of shoot in the dark and kind of wonder what everybody's charging. But the other thing was, oh my God, I had another thought. What was I going to say? That, you have margin to build a team and still have profitability. That's the critical piece of it, is knowing what these services cost for you to execute, which means all of your training. We can support you with training. Your pitch lab monthly membership will be very useful to you as you grow your business and help with your team and save you hours and hours of research each month on pitch angles, pitch ideas, training, all of that. You have to cover your platforms. What tools are you using? What does it actually cost you in the way of platforms and tools and tech that you're using to run your business? And the biggest one is the manpower. Who is doing the day-to-day execution? How much do they cost? The more you spend, the better your results tend to be. Just works out that way. So it's not so easy as like, what is a base rate? It depends on a lot of factors, but that's what we get into really in the weeds on that in the strategy pillar in the agency accelerator. So grab that freebie. It really like lays it out and should help you there. Does anybody else have any other questions for me? Thank you for being here. I have a kid home sick with COVID. He just went back to school last week, and now he's out of school all this week. Super bored. Okay, good. I'm glad that was super helpful. Awesome. My kid is like, can I go back to school? And the answer is no. If you are testing positive. He's like, but I feel fine. My husband's in New York for the US Open. I think he's on his way back right now. It's just been chaos around here. No nanny, picking up my other son from school. Now I realize we're not looking for a nanny. We're looking for like a driver. So maybe we can find somebody that isn't so like needing those hours. Usually nannies are like, I need 8 hours. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out. The other thing is like, we have to go easy on ourselves as women, as Nelson, as agency owners, as business owners. It's funny because I am listening. So I am listening right now to, you guys probably know, I love the Mel Robbins podcast. The episode that dropped today, super interesting, but I'm reading this book by, it's like How to Keep House While You're Drowning. What is her name? Casey Davis, and I'm reading it. I mean, it's a tiny little handbook and it's just whatever, but reading it, meaning I like revisit it all the time. But she is on Mel's podcast today, and they're having a really good discussion. If you feel guilty, you feel bad, you feel shame around the state of your house or laundry, or the fact that you can't take a shower and wash your hair every day. Sometimes people aren't brushing their teeth, like, and you feel that you're a garbage person because of it. I mean, I don't have those thoughts, but I do feel like, oh God, I wish I could just like stay on top of all of the chores and the housework and all the things. This is a great conversation for you to listen to. A lot of reframes that are super helpful. So that's the Mel Robbins podcast, and it's today's episode with Casey Davis. It's like 11 things, something about laundry. But try not to let yourself feel, this is also stuff we talk about inside Elevate. It's, that whole way of thinking through all of the aspects and roles and ways that you show up in relationships you have in your life, including your home serving you and your needs versus you being the servant to your home and its needs. And one of the reframes was, I signed up for my kids to have some clean clothes to wear, not so that they never have dirty clothes. So like, if they have a clean shirt, clean underwear, like you're good. It's not, laundry is not something that is ever going to end. It's a cycle. And so you might be in that cycle where you feel like, oh my God, I have to do laundry and get the laundry done, but it's like, it's never going to end. So do it to the extent you can or not, as long as your family and you have clean underwear and, all the things that just come along with basic needs, then you're fine, right? Don't beat yourself up. It's like impossible to do it all. And I don't try to. I have my housekeeper here right now. You guys know Thursdays my housekeeper comes. She's amazing. The weeks she doesn't come, I'm like, oh, she's just incredible. So if you can outsource stuff, why not? And I outsource a lot of the day-to-day execution. And in Elevate, we talk a lot about, like how to build a life, including your home life that you absolutely love. Anyway, I love this topic because, I'm certified in that training, and this podcast is really good. So listen to it today if you can. Let me know. DM me on Instagram. Tell me what you think. So good to see you all. Have a great rest of your day. And I will see you here next week on my Thursday Facebook Live show. Until then, be well. See you guys soon. Bye.